On the line with me, I have John from Mustard Recording Studio. It's a brand new facility in Helston. Hello, John.
Hello.
And how long have you been set up for now? Because I caught you on Facebook literally this weekend, and I thought,
We, yes, I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, not at all.
We're pretty much brand new. We actually moved down here in November because obviously our move was delayed with COVID and whatnot.
Oh, of course.
So we've been sort of itching for sort of nearly 12 months to sort of get cracking with it. But yeah, we moved, got down here finally in November, and then we've had many months of sort of building it, basically.
Crikey. Yeah.
So we took on basically an empty shell,
Yeah.
which we've sort of had to fit out and create the live room and the control room and whatnot. And yeah, we're just at the process now. I've just spent a 7 hours with our engineer.
Blimey.
Been spending yet more money. So it's like every sort of conversation I have seems to cost yet more money.
I've got to say, when it comes to Coast, whenever they have a tech conversation, I don't have a clue what they're saying. I can talk into a microphone and I can play music. That is it.
Oh, well, you see, I can build the tech, but the engineering side of it, it's my background is we've got where it started is I've got a business building boutique guitar effects.
Right.
So I can build the tech, but I must admit, when they start talking about sort of throwing mics around and the various intricacies of audio sort of signalling, and it starts to get a bit above my pay grade. But it's fascinating stuff, though. I mean, we're loving the process. I mean, our aim with it is really to create a creative space that other people can utilise.
Yeah.
We've got no aspirations to become engineers or producers, or we're hoping we've got a great guy, a company called Driftwood Audio, Chris Parks, who's going to be our sort of engineer for the place. So he'll sort of twizzle all the bells and whistles and make it work.
So how many are there in your team then?
Well, there's 4 of us at the moment. There's myself and my partner Joe. Matt does our media side.
Right.
And yeah, we've got Chris now who's sort of freshly on board from last week. We've just sort of, that's why the Facebook and website and things have gone live now. Is we're just at the stage now of looking towards taking bookings. I'm sitting here looking at our life savings, sitting in an old Neve console that will be that's the centrepiece of it.
That's kind of where the money is, isn't it? In the centrepiece.
Yeah, it's where the money and the time is at the moment. It's a viper's nest of wires.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's coming together now. We're expecting we should be. We've got a couple of bands booked in for the towards the end of the month.
Is this your first studio, or have you come from one?
No, it's our first soiree into it.
Wow.
We've got a crazy story, really. We were in the property business.
Right.
I was a portfolio manager for years and many years. And in the process of doing our own property, as it would have to be,
Yeah.
it would never be working for somebody else where I'd have been insured. I broke my neck in
Right.
proper hangman's fracture, both sides of my neck. And obviously I survived. You'll be pleased to hear there's a happy ending.
That is good.
But yeah, but it forced a change. Obviously, I've always been sort of into music and the tech side of music. I've always played the guitar in very big inverted commas.
Right.
But having a busy brain, I needed something to do, and I started building guitar effects sort of full time. and one thing led to another through various sort of customers, professional customers that I've got, that sort of led us to, well, look, there aren't that many. Studios have been closing their doors for the last sort of 10, 15 years, but it's coming, live recording is coming back.
Yeah.
And, people want that colour that live recording brings. From there, somehow, we ended up investing our life savings in a 1970s recording console and a studio space.
That was the time when they were making the best tech, though, wasn't it? In the 70s.
The Neve. I mean, Rupert Neve. Obviously, he was sort of the godfather of sort of audio tech. He invented the recording console to all intents and purposes.
Right.
It is a beautiful. I mean, I enjoy it from a technical point of view. I like, it's just the build of it is just, the attention to detail is phenomenal. But
would you hang it in your hallway if you had the chance?
I would have it, yeah. I don't know about the hallway. I think I'd have it in the lounge, maybe,
right,
with the TV on top of it if I had the chance. But yeah, it's. I don't think our engineer would let me do that now, though. He's getting all excited about recording through it. So.
Fantastic.
But they are beautiful.
Where is the studio?
We're in Trania, just outside Helston. So We're literally right where I'm sitting now. I'm looking at Poldark Mines car park.
Ah, right. That's a nice, quiet place to be.
It was till we moved in here. But yeah, it's yes, it's a lovely. I mean, it is a beautiful spot, and that was the whole thing behind it. We looked at a lot of different sort of units and sort of things, but it's an old smithy. It dates back to sort of around about the 1400s originally.
Wow.
So it's just sort of felt right. It felt like a nice, creative sort of space rather than an industrial unit with a sterile environment. We're trying to get as far away from that sterile recording experience as we can possibly get, really.
And you've got quite a few rooms down there as well.
Yeah, we've got the control room or console room, which is sound treated. We'll also have facility to record in here as well if people want to. Then we've got a nice size live room, which will house or can house drum kit and whatnot. We've got a nice old 1920s pianette in there, which is another curious little thing. And some nice old boutique amps, which it's obviously my thing. But, they were bought entirely for the studio. I took no pleasure in them at all. And then we've got a sound treated dead room, which we will be using for vocals, potentially audio books if it's a thing that wants to come here and whatnot, and also it houses several quite big speakers which are attached to said amps that will enable us to record in there at proper volumes rather than having to sort of attenuate or sort of dread to think asking somebody to turn down a Laney clip. I think I'd probably get chased out my own door.
So it's not just bands that you're looking for to fill the space. There's all sorts of audio possibilities there.
There's if it can be recorded, then we've got the facility. I mean, first and foremost, we'd like to sort of we're picking up a young band. Hopefully, we're going to see again on Friday.
Brilliant.
They were a sort of a youngish band. They're from more North Cornwall though, so I don't know if we can mention them. They're from up north, but
it's Cornwall. You can give them a plug.
We're trying to sort of support as much as we can. We're trying to support sort of local acts, local bands, young bands that otherwise perhaps they might find the studio experience a bit intimidating. I know when I was a youth and doing this sort of thing, going into some of these places was just sort of, it was a bit mind blowing.
I bet,
to the point that it sort of put you off a little bit to the, in reality,
right.
And we're trying to sort of create a space that's a bit more relaxed and a bit more sort of accessible, I think is the best way to put it.
Fantastic.
So we're going to try as best we can to sort of support local acts and bands. And
yeah, we do the same here on Coast. Ian Semple does a brilliant show on a Saturday, and he's got quite a few bands that pop in from time to time.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a great thing to have down here in Cornwall, because it seems almost like everyone's in a band except for me, because I can't play anything.
It's a very musical area. We were sort of quite surprised. It's when we sort of started, our plan was we wanted to move to Cornwall, but our concern was whether we'd be able to follow this idea and dream down here, or whether it was going to be too far out. But it seems, it's like you say, it seems everybody's in a band or knows somebody that's in a band.
Yeah.
So
it's like 2 degrees of separation down here.
And there's not much. It's our initial sort of soiree into, it's immediately bought a couple of bookings, and it's so it's obviously there is a demand there, and there aren't many studios left around, unfortunately. As I say, they have gone through a tricky period over the past sort of 10-15 years, and a lot of them have, because sadly you can sort of do a fairly decent job of recording in your garage now.
Yeah.
It's, although you lose a lot of that studio sort of feel to a track.
It's not quite the same really without, I find, feedback from other people. I think if you're recording in your garage, you've kind of got you and your band there.
That's the thing. I mean, we've been talking about that this afternoon, and this is what Chris has been talking about, is that what a studio brings is you're generally going to have an engineer or even just a studio owner kicking about, sucking their teeth and sort of, I think you ought to change this, I think you ought to change that. And, it's because a lot of bands, they have a sound in their head, but it's maybe not necessarily what they perceive comes out onto a track, and it sometimes takes that, like you say, that second, third set of ears that can pick up sort of where something's maybe drifting in a wrong direction. But we're hoping to sort of offer to have an engineer present for such a thing is going to be sort of a key thing. As I say, we've got no aspirations to become producers or engineers. That's a career in itself. So.
Yeah. That's fantastic. So you're intraneer, you're taking bookings right now. What's the best way to get hold of you?
The best way is to head over to the website, which is mustardrs.com. And we're on Instagram as well, which is mustard_rs on Instagram. And they're manned pretty much. The email's manned pretty much 24 hours a day. Most of my customers are in America, so I'm up all night.
Oh, right.
So and we're taking bookings now from sort of we're looking at the end of August onwards now. The early slots have been filled, but
blimey.
But yeah, we're eager to get cracking and get recording and see whether we can produce a nice major hit for Cornwall out of it. You never know.
That would be fantastic. So your advice to bands is to get in there quick.
Seemingly, yes. It's seemingly is the slots are going to get filled fairly quickly. I think it's we ended up, we were going to offer the live room for rehearsal space, but those have been filled up pretty much straight away.
Blimey.
And obviously studio space has got to take precedence, and obviously with having sort of bookings and inquiries straight away, we sort of I think we're going to focus on that, and yeah, we can hopefully get folk in.
Fantastic. Right, it's been superb to speak to you, John. We've got to go, but we will put the website and the links for you on the Terry's Train of Thought Facebook page, which is facebook.com/buffet cart. And get in touch with Mustard Recording Studio in Helston.